really want to live in peace and don't want to do any terrorism. They have to show it, not us.
You could see this as a model for coexistence, that on that hill are Israelis, this hill there are Palestinians.
There's a difference between coexisting with Israelis and coexisting with settlements.
If the peace process ever works, are you hoping this settlement will...
I am confident.
You think that settlement will go...
I am 100% sure that this land, this settlement, which is our land, will be a suburb of Rawabi one day.
But for now, he has more immediate goals. Rawabi needs water. Construction teams are using a village well, but a city needs a pipeline. Water management in the West Bank is overseen by a joint Israeli-Palestinian committee. It hasn't met for years. Masri keeps getting promises, but that's all. Then, the worst news of all. April 2014. Faltering peace talks break down completely. Both sides blame the other.
It complicates the situation. They actually use the new term, pause. I don't know what it means, but it's bad. You know, we've reached the point of no return. No matter what reality is, we will keep pushing.
But will he ever succeed? What follows is the worst of summers. Another war in Gaza and rockets fired into Israel. By the winter, tensions are rising again across the West Bank in Israel.
It's 6 months since my last visit to Rawabi, and what a 6 months it has been. People were supposed to have moved into Rawabi by now, but no one has. It still feels like a ghost town. Let me just see you again. Except no water.
That's the problem.
And it's even worse after a war in Gaza.
You cannot be selling homes while our people's homes are being destroyed. You cannot be telling people, hey, come and live in beautiful Rawabi while their homes are devastated, while debris is all over the place, while dead, injured all over the place. It is insensitive to say the least. We are reaching a point where we are seeing a lot of the buyers are raising questions, and the word out on the street that we are in financial trouble. Well, guess what? We are in financial trouble.
And there's other trouble too. Among Palestinians, criticism of Rawabi is growing. Just 15 kilometers away on the same day, Palestinians are clashing with Israeli troops at a checkpoint. For them, there's only one way to fight the occupation.
Bashar al-Masri says he wants to fight the occupation by building homes for Palestinians. What do you say to that?
Building homes for Palestinians? Actually, we don't call it like Rawabi, we call it like the first Palestinian settlement. For me, it's just a way for him to expand his wealth, and that's not resistance, because he's building with the permission from the Israelis.
He says his goal is that he has 25,000 Palestinian families living in Rawabi in a nice life. He said there will be affordable housing as well for Palestinians.
Nice life? What's your definition of nice life? The way to Rawabi, it's full of checkpoints. The Israeli can block the road and prevent anyone from reaching the city. So which life that they're talking about? Unless if they're gonna live like build the wall and then just live inside that city. I don't think that's possible.
No.
Our life is continuing as usual. We're going to work, we're going to school, the kids are going to school. We have more, they're throwing more rocks on us, and the situation became much more tense. Our opinion didn't change on Rawabi. You know, the land is still ours. He wants to build a Palestinian state. We can't let that happen.
We gave them the Gaza Strip. We left there when they were bombing civilians everywhere. I don't think that leaving this area is going to solve any problem, because what happened, the same thing that happened in Gaza is going to happen here.
Rawabi is almost finished, but a major obstacle stops people from moving in.
So what exactly is the situation with the water?
Well, they keep promising us it's next week, next week, next week. It's been like this for at least 6, 7, 8 months probably.
The problem isn't technical, it's political. Both Israeli and Palestinian officials have to meet to sign off the water. But the Palestinians suspect they'll also have to agree to water for Jewish settlements.
This is the temporary pipeline, as you can see.
For the water?
For the water. This is only the plan, okay?
So but you have a plan already?
Of course.
So the water would have to go to
Colonel Grisha Yakubovich speaks for Kogat, Israel's military body responsible for the West Bank.
The whole idea is, in 2007, 2008, when the Palestinians came with the idea to us, we told them, you know what, guys, let's take a map together. Let's mark the areas. And together we decided to build it on where it is today.
Bashar Masri tells us that for the last year, in every meeting, you say 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks. And now people are pulling out of Rawabi because they don't think it will happen.
You know, this is a way to look at the empty half glass. I prefer to look at the full half, okay? What did we do? A lot. And we have a little bit more to do. We are leading a process to make sure that in the coming few days or a few weeks, the water supply to Rawabi will be authorized and agreed by both sides.
But does that mean the Palestinians have to agree that water should go to the settlements? That's the condition for water going to Rawabi?
There are no conditions.
Why do you think Rawabi should succeed?
I believe that Rawabi is a symbol that Israel will support any investment in the West Bank.
How can they support Rawabi without providing Rawabi with water? I mean, people don't have neon saying stupid in their forehead when the Israelis say that we're supporting Rawabi or supporting any Palestinian project. They're not, they're derailing Rawabi.
Saeb Erekat says the Palestinian Authority can't agree to water for Rawabi if it means agreeing to water for Jewish settlements.
We cannot, as a Palestinian Authority, deal with settlements. Settlements are illegal. Settlements will not be part of the Palestinian state. Rawabi will be part of the Palestinian state, not the settlement.
It's a classic situation. Senior Israelis say they want Rawabi to succeed. So do senior Palestinians. The challenge is to get officials from both sides to sit around one table and agree on what should be an absolutely essential service, water. But in an increasingly tense political atmosphere, that is proving almost impossible.
I think the consequence, if Rawabi doesn't go forward, is bad, for sure. It's going to be a lot tougher for us to bring in investment from people outside of Palestine if the leading or one of the leading Palestinian businessmen can't get his project to go ahead.
Tony Blair is one of several prominent figures trying to make Rawabi happen.
We need to go back to the very basic principle that this stuff on the ground matters as much as the politics. Now, we haven't succeeded in relation to Rawabi. I hope we will, by the way. But this is something even President Obama has raised.
Hundreds of families are now stuck, waiting for their new home.
I came to Ramallah hoping to catch up with the Ibrahim family, only to find out they've pulled out of Rawabi. They've asked for their deposit back. They say they still believe in the project. It's simply that they have to find somewhere to live. So if that's what's happening to families like theirs, who are passionate about Rawabi right from the start, what about all the others? How long will they be willing to wait for their new homes?
The future of Rawabi looks less and less certain.
You understand that Rawabi is a symbol. If it fails, the critics will say, see, this is Israeli occupation and Palestinians cannot work with it.
Rawabi will not fail. We want to see happy people at the end.
If Rawabi fails, it means that it's a failure for the two-state solution. It's a failure for the peace. Was willing to dream, who was willing to take risks, and he was willing to stand up.
So there you go.
Wow.
Our great amphitheater. Look at that.
It's amazing. When we were here last time, the columns were on the ground, there was none of this. And you feel like a Roman emperor here.
It's great. I wish I can sing.
Or rule.
At least in Rawabi I'm rolling for now. Not for long.
Without
no,
any
not
people.
for long. Without any people, exactly.
In this whole project, you've had a real sense of both the possibilities, but also the problems of Israelis and Palestinians living together. Does it make you less optimistic about a final peace deal?
I am very optimistic that a deal will happen. I want to see it in my lifetime. I want to enjoy it. But if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, so be it. We will keep on working for it.
Rawabi has always been about much more than just one man and a very big dream. It's always symbolized what could go right or wrong. And as Rawabi has been rising, Israeli-Palestinian hopes have been falling. It's one thing for this to fail, but behind it is a far bigger project. Decades of Israeli-Palestinian peacemaking and hopes of a home for all Palestinians.